Welcome back to another episode of Unhinged Bookish Thoughts with Listen Carrie. Today we are talking about a book that we kind of buddy read. I mean, yes, but no. I was like way late to the game. We're talking about Lights Out by Navessa Allen today. Yay!
I have this one here.
I know my copy hasn't gotten here yet.
I'll have two
have it.
copies. I've got this one, which is the special edition from I forget which company. But then I also have the probably smut one that's still not here. So I have two.
I love the edges on that one. That one came fast too.
So this edition specifically is from Bookish Whimsy and Wonder, and she does printing and sprayed edges. So I've got this, and I bought another one by her. Fantastic. Yeah, that came really, really fast. I was quite shocked. I was like, oh, what? It's already here? Okay.
You got two books, too, and they were both adorable.
Yes, I got her favorite jack-o'-lantern or something like that. It made me. So, yeah, fantastic. And I still need to leave my review, but I highly recommend checking them out because she's fantastic.
Yeah. So, Lights Out. Let's get into it. I essentially went in blind. Did you read it first, then Ariel, then I finished?
Ariel and I kind of read it at the same time. I started it, and then she was like right behind me with it. Like she started it, didn't get very far, and then I was like, I'll just start it because nothing's keeping my attention. So I'll just start it and we'll like kind of read it. And then we started reading it. We're like, Carrie, you need to read this. Like, this is you. This is you. This book was written for both of you and Ariel. I'm like, well, I'm just here having a good old time, though.
It's funny because you don't like usually read dark romance and say, I really connect with the female main character. Because usually it's just so out there and you usually don't want it in real life. But just like the way she talked and the way she obsesses, and I'm like, yeah, okay, someone is in my bedroom watching me right now. Obviously, to an extent, everybody. Yeah,
yes,
to an extent. There are obviously themes to this I don't want in my life, but you get it.
So, there are plenty of those.
The trigger warnings are at the beginning of the book. Make sure that you read them. This book is it is kind of a rom-com-y feel, but it has darker themes to it. Obviously, not for everybody. It's not.
Yes.
But the most important things, and we wanted to talk about trigger warnings too in general, was if you don't know something, educate yourself before you start, because, I mean, you're not going to enjoy a book if you're reading it and then just out of nowhere, something just goes south really fast for you.
Yeah.
And there's no sense in blaming the book if you didn't know what something was. And there's no shame in looking something up. Google is right there.
Google is right there. Yeah, there's a lot of I wouldn't say necessarily controversy, but there is within the author realm in general about putting trigger warnings in your book. I am of the mindset that I will always put trigger warnings in the beginning of my book. Every single one I write, no matter what it is, I will always put the trigger warnings in the beginning because I think that it's better for readers, especially for myself. Like when I'm going to read something, I don't have a ton of triggers, but the ones that I have, I don't want to read about. Like anything graphic dealing with a child, I don't want to read about that. And so going into a book that would have one of those trigger warnings, I would probably skip it because I don't want to read it. And so I think it's important as an author and as a reader for those trigger warnings to be there because and I have this in everything that I write, and a lot of authors put it, like, your mental health matters. So I'm not going to just ignore that. Like everyone has different triggers. We all have different life experiences. It's emotional intelligence, okay? You have to have empathy for other people.
Yeah.
And I'm very much, I used to be a trainer at my job for emotional intelligence. So it's something that I harp on a lot. And having that empathy towards others and understanding, putting yourself into their shoes. So I want to be able to have that as both sides, right? As a reader and an author, that what I'm going into is not going to harm my mental health. It's fragile anyways. So I try to steer clear of anything like that. But this one, I would say that it's very well laid out on what the triggers are in it.
Yeah. It's definitely, trigger warnings are giving the reader a choice, you know?
Yeah.
Are you willing to accept what you're about to go on, or do you want to pass? And honestly, trigger warnings in general too, some people look for certain triggers, if that makes sense, because sometimes certain triggers are also certain kinks as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's got benefits all around. There's nowhere, in my opinion, where a trigger warning shouldn't be listed. You know what I mean?
Going off of that, like there's some that people actually go for. Blood play is one of those that I've noticed recently in like Facebook groups. Like they are specifically looking for books with trigger warnings on blood play. And so it's a trigger warning for some, but it's also like something enjoyable for others that they seek out. So it's very important to have those so both sides can find what they're looking for.
And that's another thing too, is like, we're not here to kink shame. It's okay if you don't like something. We have read lots of books where we're like, whoa, that is simply not for me.
It's not for me.
And that's okay. You can express when something isn't for you. That is okay. But to say whoever reads it is like weird or something's wrong, that's where you cross the line. One of the triggers is mask play, masked men. And we want to dedicate this episode to all of the masked people of the world, because I love you. I like you a lot.
I wasn't expecting to enjoy it. I was like, I mean, it'll be fine. And then I read it, I'm like, why do I like this? Okay.
This one like really, really made me blush, but I think it was the way that it just wasn't like constantly dark. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes it's very hard. And we mentioned this when we were going back and forth on our Masked Men like recommendations. Yep. You and I don't go dark all that often. Or if we do go dark, it's usually like even just like dark fantasy. You know what I mean? But this one, it just had me kicking my feet, giggling. Josh, what did Ariel say in the group chat the other day? She said Josh is a cinnamon roll, like made with cayenne pepper or something like that. And I was like, that is the best way to put it. He is definitely like golden retriever vibes, but he is so sexy. Like, I loved the way that she ate it up, but then like gave it back 100 times over.
Yeah. It was a good balance. I don't think he was expecting her, which I think was like the best part, right? Is that he's like, oh yeah. Like he gets into like this persona, right? Like he puts on the mask and he's like the faceless, like the masked man on the internet, right?
I was literally just sitting I was sending you an Ariel selfies, and my blanket would be like up over my face, and I would just be like swooning over how. But okay, but I do want to ask you this. I want your opinion. Do you think this book is technically insta-love?
Yes.
I do too, and normally I don't really fuck with insta-love.
Yeah,
but this, I was like, you have to love each other right now.
Warned on, like, if I know, because like Cleo Evans is a good example of this. Her Cosmic Kiss, it says it in the very beginning, like, this is an insta-love book. They're going to fall hard. They're going to fall fast. It's not a slow burn. Don't expect that. I wasn't expecting this one to be an insta-love, but, like, he met her, like, what, 1 or 2 times?
Yeah.
And he was like, hi, I'm going to stalk the shit out of this woman.
In her own way, also stalking. He was obviously stalking, like physically stalking, but she was eating him up too. So I feel like, I don't think you have to put out there that this one is an insta-love, but I think it does go under that, but it's how I wanted it. I wanted them to fall in love. I was like, you need to be in love right now.
You need to be together.
I think it's also the way that Josh treats Fred and is like our son. I was like, okay, I'm done. I was like,
wait, what?
Yeah, I'm in love with you.
I have a comment. Hold on, where is it? It says, he fell into the cat dad real fast.
He did. It was so cute. It's so like, funny though.
Comes in, he's like, not now, Fred. Mommy and Daddy need some time together. I was like,
but then I loved that because he goes, no, because the cat, you can just hear it yowling. And Mommy and Daddy need time. And then you just flip that switch and he's just like sexy.
Yeah.
And then he makes the TikTok and captions it Mommy and Daddy time.
Like, why, dude? That was so funny. It's just, for a guy who has like no pets, like he's like a single bachelor in his house, he's a hacker and all this stuff. And you just like full on like dad mode. He's like, this is my cat, this is my son. Do not touch him.
Mm-hmm. I kind of wish that. Okay. Also, I don't want to like spoil anything. So like, I don't know if now I have to say just in case spoilers. I don't know. But at the end, you know, when they're doing the primal play, the chase.
Epilogue, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she says, if he catches me, then I have to make a video with him. A part of me really wishes that we could get a bonus chapter of what type of video they made, because my thoughts are wandering.
Navessa, we need this. But listen, this is my thought, okay? They do a video together and they're both masks.
And then Fred comes in and Fred's wearing a mask.
And you see those little like Batman masks that people put on their cats.
And then they put a voice modulator in it, so when Fred's yowling, it's just like
that'd be great. I would watch that. I would. But like, yeah, because she kind of started getting into it, right? Like she would help record all this stuff and things. Like I would love to have that bonus chapter of her and him together on camera. And I don't think they'd be like doing anything like super naughty, but just like a hard thirst trap with both of them masked.
Mm-hmm.
I can get down on that one.
Like imagine, listen, I'm just like, okay, imagine they are in the forest. Okay, they're in the forest. He drops the phone. He's looking down on it. He picks it up, and then she's like standing with him, and then she just starts running or something. That'd be so hot.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be so hot. I'm sure that's on the TikTok, and I'm gonna go and look for that type of stuff after this.
But I need it.
That's what I'm saying. This female main character, I am her. She is me. And she says smash. Like, get out of here. That's your moment.
She said smash with laugh emojis. And that's when I'm like, you need to be in Carrie. I mean, at literally the beginning, these are my notes, okay? It says, thirst trap, masked men. Carrie, where are you? Sure. Because you need to be here.
Yes.
You need to be here.
We swooned a lot. Major point of it. But also, like, obviously, darker themes happen. You get layers to these characters. I kind of loved about like his background. Like about his dad being a serial killer.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Wasn't expecting that. I will say the one thing I really wasn't expecting was just like out of nowhere her family is in the mafia.
Yeah, that was like a left, like on the like.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
totally. It's like fine. It was fine. Yeah. I'm not mad about it, but I was like, oh, okay. I just didn't. That's not what I thought was gonna happen.
It kind of makes sense because they don't ever like she doesn't talk about her family at all, and like the entire time until like stuff goes down and she's like, yeah, well, let's go do this. And I was like, well, that kind of makes sense why she doesn't talk about her family. Like she doesn't want to be involved with them.
A part of it.
I'm like, yeah, she's like, that's not what I want.
That's why it fits so well. But I was like, oh, the mafia. Okay, this is taking. I also love that they accidentally kill. What is his name? Brad?
I don't remember what his name is. My brain is on Todd from the other book. I'm like,
shit. No, I'm going to bring that fucking book up. But yeah, how they accidentally kill him, because obviously both of them are just not, they're not killers. Yeah.
No.
You taped his mouth and his nose.
I will say that I love that she is a trauma nurse. Like that is a very specific type of nurse with a different, you have to have a certain mindset and a certain personality to be a trauma nurse. And so I really enjoy that. Mm-hmm. And that it was done in a believable way. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't like a lot of the time, like, medical is like thrown into books. It's so unbelievable. I'm like, you have zero medical experience, obviously. Like, as someone who's worked in emergency medicine and done this type of stuff, I'm like, it's believable. And like, I love the mental health aspect of her job. Like, the very beginning, they're talking about there's a new girl, there's a new nurse, and they're trying to comfort her because some really bad things happened. They saw some very traumatic things that day, which is very, very common in that type of work. And they're like, this is the phone number to like speak with a therapist that we have on call. Let us get you home. Like, having that, kind of aspect is not done a lot in books. And I really liked seeing that. I was like, yeah, like, talk about the trauma that they go through as their daily job. I'm like, it's traumatic. How many dead bodies I've seen?
Yeah.
There's a lot. Like, you see some horrific stuff when you're in like emergency medicine in general. And it's like, thank you for talking about that, because it's not done ever in any books that I've ever read. So,
right. No, I thought that was really good. I like how they connected her story with like being a nurse. I also like that they showed like that she was super burnt out emotionally. She didn't want to do it. And it was fitting that, of course, the moment she takes vacation is when all of this fucking happened.
I just read one of my comments and I'm like, they go together. They go together. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. I want to hear all the comments.
Okay, this one's probably my favorite that I wrote. I made comments as I went through, right? So this one says, he'd probably come if she punched him. And then down, he goes, if she punched the dude, I'd probably come. Called it.
Yeah.
I'm like, because he talks about like her like fighting back kind of thing. And he got like kind of a hard on for it. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that if she socked him, just full on, just right across the face, he would probably come in his pants.
For sure.
And then he's like, man, if she punched this dude, I'm gonna come right now. Like,
yeah.
I know you. Like, I feel like I understand you.
I feel like we would be best friends with him. You know what I mean?
100%. I also have Ted Bundy reference because it's so like relatable, and it ties back to him, right? Because he's like, I've always been attractive. I can really get away with whatever I want because I like his dad used his looks, right? And he's like, his like idol was Ted Bundy, and I'm like, yes, like that.
Yeah,
that makes sense. And I was like, that is such a good like tie-in with like actual serial killers, because that was Ted Bundy's MO. Is he was a very handsome man that could get away with whatever he wanted, including brutally murdering several women because he was a good-looking. Women were like, and that's the thing with him. Like his entire, like he didn't want to go that way, right? Like he can understand. He's like, I have it in me, I'm afraid, and so I could go that way, but I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna be like a thirst trap, and I can get women to come to me because I'm hot. And it's like, well, Ted Bundy did that because he just like went out and women were like instantly attracted to him because he was hot. They're like, it's like, oh, I need help. They're like, oh, okay. And this is like, if I just post me shirtless with a mask on, women will just come to me and I don't have to worry about it. It's like, sir, that was very good tie in there.
Yeah. And also, with that being said, because we always have to get serious a little bit sometimes, let's not fucking glamorize serial killers. They're
real
not
life
hot.
Serial killer.
It's not cute. It's not hot.
I can't believe that even happened.
I was like, even be something said. Yeah.
No, we shouldn't have to say it. Stop. Like, stop it. Just stop it. Like, we can.
Please stop.
I'm very much into like criminology. It's something I've always enjoyed. I took a course when I was in high school, and it's something that intrigued me since then. So I love the psychology behind it. I do not believe that those men should get any like notoriety. You can talk about them, but you also need to talk about the victims. And so a certain individual recently doing promotions based on a certain person that has recently been in the news about being a serial killer. No. Don't do that.
Right. Making edit
Don't.
thirst traps to said killer, that's fucking crazy too.
Gross. I just
That's
don't.
wild.
It's not. I will also add a little asterisk. It's not the first time this has happened.
No.
Right? It's happened very much.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's so gross. Like we shouldn't be doing the same thing that happened in like the 70s and the 80s.
Like with Ted Bundy, he had like a whole like fan club. It's not. And guys, remember, the only reason why you know these men are because of the crimes that they committed. I'm sorry.
Yes.
And we're not going to say names because we're not going to give airtime to that. But
no. Don't
do that. This is a book. This is a book. Listen, even though we're swooning very hard over it, we don't want this in real life.
No.
We don't.
No.
So thank you. That's it.
Thank you for coming to our TED Talk for the day.
We really have been wanting to say something though about that.
Because and it's been happening a lot since like the trial, right? So the trial started happening and thirst traps started popping up and they were blaming it on the dark romance. Like, oh, I read dark romance, so that's why I did it. No. Mm-hmm. No. Yep. Stop. That's not why you did it. You thought it was a good idea. You went out, made that thirst trap, that edit for this person. You did that. Yeah. That had nothing to do with what you read. This is a book.
Right.
Real women were murdered, people.
Yeah.
Savagely murdered.
Yeah. So, for anybody that wants to say that dark romance girlies are to blame for no, because there are thousands of dark romance girlies that aren't thirsting after him.
No. So. And there's been so many like bigger content creators, right, that are specifically within that dark romance genre that have come out and been like, y'all are disgusting. Absolutely. Go sit in the corner. We don't want you here. Get away from us. We don't want that. And they shouldn't be. That's how it should be. If we have to publicly shame you to stop you from doing that, right, then that's what's going to happen. It's gross.
Because you're taking away from the genre. Because I don't know, you follow Morley Gray K. She has made really good, like, mindful posts in general about dark romance. It's healing for a lot of people. These books are incredibly healing for some of the traumas that people have, like, faced before. So, because you want to do something kind of yucky, don't pull the community into that, please. Thank you. Anyway,
no, just because you're gross, don't do it. Okay, keep your ickiness to yourselves. Yeah, I get.
I had to jump into that, and I apologize. But
no, that was perfect. I just have, and we already said this, that her comments are super relatable. Because we were like, yeah, I've said that. Yep. Oh, the next one says, that looks like my comforter. Ma'am, how do you not know it's your bedroom?
Ew, my wheezing. I did think that. I love when she was like, oh my God, that looks like my bed. And I was like,
look, you got a new comforter.
I think you and I, we're like anxious. So instantly if we saw that, we'd be like, yeah, he's in her room. Immediately I'd be like, that bitch is in my room. He's in the house.
He's in the house. Is he still here? Should I be excited about it or should I be scared?
Yep.
I think this is the thing that like caught me off guard is like, I don't think she ever questioned how he got in her house.
Never once.
She was just like, he got in. And I was like, you're not going to ask him how he got in?
Yeah.
Like, at all? You're just going to accept the fact that he got into your house? Yeah. And he did stuff on your bed?
God damn. I really wish we had reference videos. I would love that visual. I would love that.
Write that down. The next one was the fucking panic. I don't even know that goddamn headboard. Like, I think it was when she walked into his room and she was like, I know this place. Or like, all the things. Dark humor getting her. Yeah, I mean, we get dark humor is me.
The dark humor was just, I connected. Yeah,
okay, but he's sweet. He started her car after he knew she had a really bad day because he was watching her, right? Like he's so obsessed. And he's so obsessed on the next line. Like he was so obsessed he hacked into the hospital cameras. He's like,
and I
I'm gonna watch you.
the first time they interact, it's like kind of stressful, but then he like gives her fucking apples, and I was like, what a sweet boy. Listen, it's the weirdest way. He was so cute and sweet to her as he's stalking her.
She's such a brat and he loves it.
Yeah.
He did.
I just love that he kept saying that all these kinks were coming unlocked. And he goes, God, I hope fisting isn't a kink. Because he goes, she tries to fist me, I'll probably eat it up.
Probably do it. Probably do it. He did not just say I'm Batman. I was like, this man's gonna say I am Batman, and what he did, I laughed so hard. I was like, oh my god, I'm Batman, and I was like, no.
They're trying so hard to keep the fantasy alive. He still doesn't think she knows who he is, so he's just going like, he's like, I'm Batman.
He's such a red and green flag.
Yeah.
It's this weird like combo, and I'm like, okay, that was kind of a red flag, but then like, okay. Example, the knife scene, I was like, okay. She's like, my bed, and he's like, don't worry, new one's getting delivered tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was like,
because instantly I was like kind of pissed for her.
Yeah,
but then he said, I got a bigger one that'll fit. And I was like, okay, continue.
I can't fit on your bed. And I was like, and he's like, when do I get delivered tomorrow? And I was like, okay.
He'll consider it.
Okay.
Him like easily breaking into her home. Yeah. Him like easily breaking into her home. But then he buys her a security system.
He's a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He's like just sour. He'll do something, breaks into her house and like does shit in her house. Then he's like, her security system is not that great. So I'm just gonna buy her a brand new like state of the art one and have it installed on my dime. Like she doesn't have to do anything. And it's gonna be fine. Like she'll be safe.
Mm-hmm. We love to see it. A good balance.
Stop it. He's down bad with like 12,000 bees.
He was down hard.
Hard.
You can't even tell who fell first because they both fell.
Yeah.
Boy, he fell.
I want to say he did because he was like already obsessed, and then he started interacting with her, and he was like, "Oh, I need this woman. I need this woman bad." That's why he was like, "Yeah, that's my cat." Like instantly, he was like, "That's mine. It's my baby boy."
And mine, not in like a weird ownership-y way, just so everybody knows if you haven't. Like they do have the little like my scene, like say you're mine thing. But it's just like the sweetest fucking it's so cute.
It's way too cute. I have that they're so fucked up together, it's perfect.
Yeah. That's the tagline.
So perfect. But this one I just put her trying to scramble away from the anal plug in her ass. She laughs so hard, it's like it's already in her, and she's like trying to run away from it as it's still in her butt when he turns it on. It was so funny.
Really sexy scene though, guys.
Really sexy, but he turns on the butt plug, and she's just like, starts like scurrying backwards. I'm like, ma'am, you're not gonna run away from it. It's inside of you.
Yep.
It's in you. I'm dying though. I was laughing so hard. I was like, where does she think she's going? Is she gonna somehow run away from it?
Oh,
go
shit.
ahead, ma'am. It's up your butt.
Take a shot every time Liz says, it's in your butt.
I'm like crying so hard right now.
Oh man.
Oh my god. It's in your butt. It's in your butt. It's in your butt.
People are just laid out from the take a shot. You just said it like 9 times. People are.
If you liked Butcher and Blackbird, I definitely suggest this one. I love the audiobook. It was done so well. I love Jacob Morgan though. Like he's one of my favorite male narrators. Him and like Teddy Hamilton. I feel bad for my spouse because there's this like audio clip going around that's of Teddy Hamilton that's like, Teddy Hamilton can satisfy women with only his voice. And it's like, you were fucking made for me. And I'm like, Teddy Hamilton, And then we were talking about Jacob Morgan, which is when Ariel and I are like, you just need to read the audiobook. And I'm like, you know, the audio that's going around, and I think you wear my ring, you come on my face and hand. And I was like, that's right. It's
so
done
good.
really, really well. It's probably one of my favorite, like, dark romance or like romance books that it's one of my favorites since Butcher and Blackbird. I really love that one. The narration on it was done. The voices for the characters matched what I had in my Hallie's voice matched so well to the image I had in my head of her. I was like, yeah. And then you have Josh, and I was like, yes, Jacob Morgan, yes. Yes, read me whatever you want, sir. Thank you.
Yes. I dual read, and it was the best. It was the best experience.
I love that you dual read now.
I was so freaking strong. It was so freaking strong.
It's so good, especially like that one. Like, I wish I would have dual read it, but I read it while I was working, and so, and like that's what I do a lot now is I read while I work, and so, did I get distracted? Was I like, yes. Yeah,
sometimes when I'm just like really tired, man, and my brain just can't and listening to him. Yeah, I'll listen. I can't just listen. I have to have a visual. I do have some Masked Men recommendations. However, they don't necessarily have the same vibe as Lights Out. Like, these are dark romance.
Yes.
This one is lighter, like Butcher and Blackbird, Leather and Lark. But just to rip out a few, I don't know why I said that, but we've got Shattered Obsessions and Shattered Hearts. That is by Tina Spencer. I actually beta read for her. 10 out of 10. You get some primal play, very sexy.
I feel like I have that on my Kindle already.
You would really like that one. It's also kind of like a dark Masked Men, like sportsy. So it really hit all the boxes for me. Okay, next. One of Ariel's and I's favorite, Little Stranger.
Which, you said there was a knife scene in that one, which is what was putting me off from reading it. Is it similar to this one?
No. It's also a screwdriver. And it's got some, like, stepbrothery. So I
probably want to read that. No.
I absolutely fucking ate it up.
Yeah.
See, guys? See? I loved it. Bliss knows that stepbrother isn't her thing.
Not my thing.
Very mindful, very demure. She doesn't read it.
Very cutesy.
Very cutesy. I can't wait for the second book. It's gonna be so fucking good. Ariel and I, we've got it. Don't you worry. We're gonna hold the fort down.
Get it, and you can tell me all about it.
Next, That Sick Love by Jessie Hall. That one.
I need to read that one yet.
That one is probably one of the more darker ones that I've read. And I really did enjoy it. And that one was one where I was like, I think I'm gonna push my boundaries a little bit. Smash. Ate it up again. Please refer to the beginning of the episode when we tell you that you need to read the trigger warnings. Okay.
That's what I need to like actually dig into the trigger warnings, because I keep hearing that I would probably like it, but I think it might be too dark for me, because I'm just not a dark romance person. And I thought I was, and then I was like, because we were like having this conversation, I'm like, I don't really read dark romance.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
I think you and I live in like the rom-com dark theme. That is where we are most comfortable. Like Lights Out, Butcher, Blackbird, those.
Yes.
Those I will never hesitate.
Bouncing back and forth. That's like sweet and like naughty at the same time. Yeah.
This one I do want you to mark down. I do. It's called Scream for Us by Molly Doyle. It's very short, and it's like there's multiple.
Yes, that's a series too, right? Because it's a Halloween novella. That's on my list for Halloween. It's on my October list.
And I promise I have read this one, because I just recently gave Liz a recommendation of a Halloween novella that I hadn't read, and we went on a fucking journey. I didn't even finish it.
I sent my cousin, because we were talking about like the books that we do this all the time. Like, we talk about the books that we're reading lately. I sent her a 5-minute voice memo about that book. Like, at the end, I was like, I hope you enjoy this. She's like, she sent me, she goes, I've only listened to 2% of your message. What the did you just read?
I'm ready.
So both of us we highly recommend that you read Lights Out by Navessa Allen. It's fantastic. We both love the audiobook. It's on Kindle Unlimited. Is that right? That's where you read it?
Yes.
Okay,
No.
perfect. No,
No.
not Kindle Unlimited.
No.
I wouldn't think so because it's by a trad publisher. So
Yeah.
I didn't think Zando was on it. A lot are trying to start being on KU, but it's also you don't make a whole lot of money with KU. So
It's worth the purchase if you can.
yeah, it's really good. And then, like I said, my special edition is from Bookish, Whimsy, and Wonder. That's what it is. I don't have a brain lately.
We are so prepared.
I'm so burnt out. So definitely check her stuff out. Even if you don't want this one, she has a ton like pre-orders right now. Go look. So yes, go read it. Make sure you read the trigger warnings. This isn't just about Lights Out. Read your trigger warnings in general. Don't come after the book, the author, for you not reading the trigger warnings.
Correct.
But as always, thank you for joining us. Read what you want and don't be a dick.